Welcome to the kidsministry.blog podcast. Every episode, we share ideas, tips, and resources to help your children's ministry thrive.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our deep dive today comes from kidsministry.blog, and it really hits on a challenge many of us face. How do you keep kids truly engaged when you're telling a story? Stop those eyes from glazing over.
Exactly. And it's about moving beyond just listening, isn't it? It's more like active participation, turning stories from just something they hear into something they really experience.
Experience, yeah. That's the key.
And the goal there is deeper understanding, and maybe even more importantly, making it stick, better retention.
Absolutely. And kidsministry.blog uncovers some really surprising and effective ways to do just that, making any story come alive through interaction. So the first, maybe the biggest game changer they mentioned, it's actually pretty straightforward. Let the kids be the characters.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Instead of just describing Noah's Ark, you actually have kids being the animals, making the sounds, doing the movements, or for David and Goliath, right? You pick a David, a Goliath, and everyone else. They're the Israelites, maybe cheering, or maybe even some nervous Philistines.
It taps into something so natural for them. And the impact on memory is, well, it's significant. Kids remember stories way better when they're literally inside them. There was this one example. A kid remembered the entire Daniel in the Lion's Den story like a week later.
Just because he played a lion.
Yeah, just because he got to roar and pace around.
Yeah.
That direct involvement, it really builds stronger memory pathways. It's not just hearing, it's doing.
Okay, so building on that idea of doing, the next thing is bringing in tangible stuff, props.
Physical objects.
Right. So instead of just talking about Moses' staff, you let a kid hold maybe just a walking stick, something like that, or pass around some smooth stones when you talk about David choosing his weapon.
Or even like for Goliath's armor.
Yeah, maybe let someone feel the weight of something heavy, maybe a small piece of chainmail if you have it, or just something metallic that feels substantial.
And this gets right to the heart of how kids learn, doesn't it? They're so hands-on. They really need to touch and feel things to fully get it. That tactile part isn't just, fun.
It makes it real.
It makes it real. And it creates stronger connections in the brain. The weight of the armor becomes a felt memory, not just a fact they heard. Much deeper.
And it's not just touch, is it? Sound comes into play, too. I loved this idea they called sound effects by committee.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Instead of you making all the noises, you get the kids to do it. Thunder for a storm, sheep sounds, marching feet.
And that gets everyone involved, even the kids who aren't playing a main role. They all have a job.
Totally. You can just picture the controlled chaos, a room full of kids baaing like sheep. And then there's movement, too.
Yes, don't just make them sit still.
Marching around the room 7 times for the story of Jericho, or like rocking back and forth, pretending to be in a boat when Jesus calms the storm.
That movement isn't just about letting off steam, though it helps with that too. It actually helps them process the story. It aids focus for a lot of kids. I know I always learned better when I could fidget or move.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one that really caught my attention. Adding choose your own adventure moments.
Ooh, intriguing. How does that work? Well, you stop at a really key point in the story. Like Moses is at the Red Sea, the army's behind him. You stop and ask the kids, okay, what would you do right now?
Let them brainstorm solutions.
Exactly. Let them debate it a little. Then you reveal what actually happened. And you can also just sprinkle in questions throughout. Like, why do you think David wasn't scared? Simple things like that.
That's clever. It makes the characters feel less like storybook figures and more like real people making choices, right?
Bet.
It encourages that bit of critical thinking, gets them inside the character's head.
Yeah, but you have to be careful not to derail the story, I guess.
Right. Keep it concise. Keep the momentum. It's about prompting thought, not stopping the narrative cold.
And speaking of momentum, timing is also crucial. The source really emphasized dramatic pauses.
Letting moments land.
Yeah, letting the silence do some work. Like when David picked up those stones or when Jesus said, "Peace, be still." Just pause. Let it sink in.
Definitely. And they also mentioned some pitfalls, things to avoid. Like don't feel you have to make every single story interactive.
Yeah.
Some stories might work better, told more directly, and avoid activities that are, way too complicated and take forever to set up or explain.
Or that overshadowed the story itself. That's key.
Exactly. The interaction should serve the story, not become the main event.
Yeah, the activities enhance, they don't replace. And maybe having clear signals, like when it's time to participate and when it's time to listen closely, that helps manage the energy.
Makes sense. So, boiling it all down, what does this really mean for you? listening right now.
Mhm.
It means you can transform storytelling. It stops being just a passive presentation and becomes more like a shared adventure.
A shared adventure where kids don't just hear the story,
They live it.
they live it. And ultimately, the real goal here, as Kids Ministry blog points out, is for kids to connect with these stories as, well, as real events that relate to their own lives, their own place in the bigger picture, which kind of raises a bigger question for all of us, doesn't it? How can we take this core principle, this idea of experiential learning, and apply it elsewhere? How do we make any topic, any subject truly come alive, not just by telling, but by involving?
That's definitely something to mull over as you think about how you might bring your next big idea, your next important topic to life.
Thanks for listening. To find more ideas, tips, and resources, go to kidsministry.blog. We'll see you next time.